All right, guys, here we go. The Dolphins 2023 season has kicked off. We're on the first step to probably, I'd say, most critical season in 25 years. And so every step along the way is going to be absolutely critical. To me, the Miami Dolphins are the most fascinating team in the NFL. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Dolphins fan. As an evaluator, I try to be honest and, hopefully accurate as well. But this Dolphins squad, the way Chris Grier has built this team, which is his own road, it's avant-garde. And then you add in Fangio and Tua in his critical season, Tehran in a very critical season for his career. You add in Wilkins, who's playing for a big free agency check. Howard pairing up with Ramsey. Can Howard stay healthy? On and on and on it goes. The evaluations are at a critical point. This is the final exam. The height is set at conference championship. I say divisional round if, you get some crazy thing. But under our normal circumstances, we've got to make the conference round. And so there's going to be a clear evaluation. But we don't know what's going to happen. Last year is last year. This year is this year. You take the team and they had this random set of variables, this whirlwind around the team as it pushes forward to the week one of the season and goes through a 17-game gauntlet against a very tough AFC East division and then a very tough AFC. Dolphins are playing a very tough schedule, playing the AFC West. All this wraps together to make, for Dolphins fans, whatever side of the fence you're on, exciting and a season to bring clarity. So we got day one of practice, and it's one step, but every step is critical. So I'm going to go over the news, and there's a lot of good stuff, but I'd be lying to you if there wasn't one thing that stood out that kind of was like the fly in the ointment a little bit. It doesn't mean it is. I'll save that for the end. I'll try to do the positive stuff first because this is about fun. I want people to be happy, but I do try to evaluate fairly and honestly. So I'll save that to the end. You probably know what I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to get into it on the good stuff. And it really starts out Wilkins, Connor, and Sealer aren't holding out. And, reality is these guys are massive pieces looking to get massive money in free agent seasons. They could play some kind of hardball, and that hardball might not cripple the team, but you don't need that. So the fact that Wilkins, who's an unbelievable kid, I love the dude, and I think he's going to definitely increase his pass rush stats. I think he's banking on it. I think he believes in himself. I don't think he's going to accept anything unless it's the right contract from Grier. So I think he's going to play this out, and I think he's going to deliver. And it's going to be up to Grier at the end of the season to pay even higher price unless he gets him in before camp, or see him walk somehow, or maybe tag him or whatever. But you know the deal. So Wilkins being in, though, he's the foundation. He's the heart and soul of this defense. So it's great news that he's in because he could have played real hardball. And then Connor Williams is a big piece. Some people are high on him. Some people are not. I am. I think the snapping thing is the only blockade to this kid getting a big contract, 15 plus million, because he's proved he can play guard pretty good, aside from the holes. Now he can play center and he gets a snap down. He's a two-position kid who's like 27 years old, maybe 28, I think, going into next season. That's a big-time contract. So he's playing for a lot, but we need to win this season. And for him to get in and snap with Tua and kind of get those balls going down instead of high last year, improve on that area is critical, given what's going on the other ends of this offensive line. So it's very good news for him. And then Seal, he's 29. He wants big money. I understand why Grier's slow-rolled the extension. 29, the second contract is going to be 30, 31, 32. And those are football years like dog years. So I understand I have a feeling he's going to be a free agent next year. I don't think we're going to pay him, but it's good to have him in it because Sealer and Wilkins are going to set the table for the rest of Fangio's defense. So it's great news. There are no holdouts. Probably some disgruntled players in Connor Williams, but they'll get past it. So that is the great news. Then Brandon Jones is for many Dolphins fans, he's a favorite. You like the kid. He came, he's not a first round, second round pick. He's a guy that you get a little bit in the mid rounds, came in big sacks. He's a guy that you kind of like, lunch pail kind of kid. And when he got injured last year, week 7, it was terrible. And now he's entering the contract year. And it was great news to see the kid back, to make sure he's here to take care of himself, whether it's with the Dolphins, which I hope, I'd love for him to be the long-term solution safety, or someplace else. I love when good kids get good money, even if it means someplace else, because this game shaves off quality years to your life, and anybody who has pain, lives in pain, knows that kind of sucks. And these guys are going through some serious stuff for the most part very, very early. And then it actually cuts real years. I think the lifespan for an NFL player is like 20 years less than like the rest of the population. So good kids getting good pays makes me very happy. I'm glad he's back. He's in here. Plus for the Dolphins, for Vic Fangio with the new system and this whole defense, which is going to be the foundation towards the Dolphins' success. To have this kid in here, I'm real happy for him, and I'm happy for the Dolphins. So that's real good news. Then there's McDaniel. McDaniel, say what you want about the guy. Some Dolphins fans, they want the more hardcore approach. I grew up with those kind of coaches. I'm used to that. I kind of like the more hardcore approach. The Woody Allen thing is a little avant-garde, a little different. It's a little different spin on the show of being head coach. But he comes up with some real funny stuff. Cameron Wolf put this little tweet up. Have you seen their collective paychecks? My interest is high. When he was asked about McDaniels, about Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle versus Ramsey and Howard with training camp battles. And that's the truth. And it's a funny take on it. I like that. It's entertaining. Doesn't mean he's going to help us win or not win, but at least it's entertaining. I thought that was really good. And then Omar Kelly had this with McDaniel that I love to hear because honestly, it feels like for the last couple of years, this hasn't been true. And I'm hoping it is this season. We have some competition that I would be a fool if I tried to crown someone X, Y, and Z. It's an opportunity to gain some momentum for all the guys, McDaniel said. He wants to get a little more clarity with the O-line, and Armstead and Wynn's absence will allow that. I personally don't think there's been a lot of competition when it comes to Jackson and Eichenberg. I think guys have been appointed well before the season even started. So this will be very interesting if it's true, and I hope it is. Because I do enjoy McDaniel's funny side, but it's going to come down to on the field. And if there's any competition battles that need to be had, it's on this offensive line. Legit competition battles, not saying it to the public. So let's hope this is true. So I thought those were nice little fun parts, hopeful parts to what McDaniel had to say. And then for those, who are on a tour watch, I'm not going to go over his tattoos. He got some tattoos. Okay. Whatever. Good. But he had a nice bomb to Waddle for 40 yards with tight coverage on Hill. So that's good. He had a 7-7s. He had a nice quick dart to Waddle. So he looks like he's doing well. Maybe the tattoo's fueling him. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever. So that's the good news. You want to hear good news. It's early. There's no pressure and all this other stuff. But if you're not hearing this kind of stuff, then you should be concerned. So this is an upward trajectory that I like to hear. It's what we're supposed to hear, and we're hearing it. So there was a nice breakup by Howard on Hill. It was one of the first matchups of the superstar skill talents on both sides, offense and defense. And Tua's throwing that ball. Now, Howard has got it. He hasn't lost it. It's just the injuries come up at some point and diminish what this guy could do. I say kid, but he's getting older now, so he's a guy. And the last 2 seasons, he's been playing injured. So when he's healthy, if him and Ramsey are together and Howard's healthy and Ramsey's healthy, this is going to be a stud crew. That's it. So this is good news. This is a big one for me because, can he stay healthy? And if he does, look out. Now, the first day, according to Omar Kelly, and I miss Omar Kelly. I like him. I missed him, with the Sun Sentinel. It's kind of weird still not seeing him there. You could catch him at Fan Nation, All Dolphins. I saw him put coverage up there. I didn't know. Now I know, but I want to spread that word. He said there was a very short first day practice, which is uncommon. Okay, easing guys in, whatever. Just something to note. We'll see how it plays out. Now, Julian Hill, who was a tight end who was brought in, he's 6'3", at the 26th of July, a little slide under the radar because a lot of people are high on Elijah Higgins, the receiver who's going to get converted to tight end. But they brought in Julian Hill, the 26th of July, 6'3", 6 foot 3 inches, 0.5, almost 6'4", 247. He ran his 40 and 4.65, which is pretty good for a big guy. 21 reps on the bench, 34.5 leap, vertical, and 33-inch arms. So this guy's got a lot of talent, but there was a lot of hype, a lot of people talking about him being this guy to watch. He dropped the ball along with Hill and Waddle, so you got 3 drops today. Make of it what you want. Then there's the Hill situation. It's been resolved between the two parties, and whatever the incident was, we're probably never going to get to see it. It's been resolved. He's paid the guy something, and the guy's like, all right, I'm done, I'm good. And while it's kind of gone away, when you pay somebody and settle, it's kind of a sort of admitting of guilt, of some sort of culpability or desire not to press forward for whatever reason. Now, from the legal standpoint, it's muerto, dead. But the NFL is still investigating, and so it's going to be very interesting to see what comes out. I don't know, maybe something, maybe nothing. The negative side is I don't really pay attention to the social media stuff. I grew up on Inside NFL, and I love to cover football plays, football stuff, and then, the stories around the mythology of the players is what the Inside NFL really did for the 99% of the stuff. But in modern stuff, there's the media in the background. I didn't know Hill's past. I really didn't. I didn't know the abuse of a pregnant woman, abuse of a child, and all. But now that it's resurfaced, it's in the ether. It's in the fan conscious, the public consciousness. And now you got Cook, who's a guy I didn't think we were going to get. And then all of a sudden, the running back market tanked like a Led Zeppelin. And I was like, well, maybe we can get this guy for like $5 or $6 million. And now he's got his own abuse thing, which you can go check out and see what it's all about. It's shady, I don't know though. But now you got the Hill thing that's here about abusing women, and then the Cook thing that's abusing women. These two stories coinciding at the same time might create that divide between what appeared to be an eventual merger of fates between the Dolphins and Cook. It might separate because from an optics standpoint alone, I'm not going to get into the rest of the stuff, but just from an optics standpoint, it might mean we can't do this. The Dolphins might decide not to go that route. They also might be wondering what's going to happen now with the league too, because you got Hill who's being investigated for this thing. You're going to get Cook and spend money on him, and then maybe there's an event. So it might separate those fates. And we found out a couple days ago, at least I did, that the Dolphins were looking to trade for Barkley, whatever that was, whatever the deal was, it wasn't released. But Greer was looking to enhance the running back position. So people will say he's not trying to. He was trying to. He was looking for Cook. He was looking for Barkley. He didn't go with those numbers. And then he drafted A-Chain. And I thought once they drafted A-Chain, this free agent pursuit was probably dead. Although when the market crashed, and I thought we can get him for like peanuts, then I thought maybe he'd come in here. But now when you see A-Chain got a lot of reps in running and receiving, and I think Greer and McDaniel are going to go with A-Chain. I'm back off the Cook market with the Dolphins, and I think they're really looking at A-Chain. They gave him tons of carries, and there's a reason for that. And I think with all this stuff that's brewing around, I think they've kind of moved past that unless some phenomenal deal comes. So I think we can not pay attention to that. Now, I got to get into the, I wouldn't say gloom and doom, but a sobriety. We've got hype, we've got hope, we've got zeal. We're fans, fanatics, but you got to have some kind of reality. And this offensive line thing, some of the news that came out yesterday and today has me a little, and it should, I think you have a little rabbit ears up, a concern. Nothing to nail into the ground yet, but still. So we know that the PUP, players unable to physically perform, came out, and Tehran's on it, Wynn's on it, Tanakana, whoever you want to, he's on it, Needham's on it, and Needham is not a big deal. He's a vet. You got Kohu, you got Cam Smith, you got Ramsey and Howard. He can ease his way in, no problem. Tanakana, we got these other tight ends. I don't know. I was not really high on him anyway. But the Wynn thing, and then you got Tehran, my man Tehran. I don't like that news. I'm going to talk about Tehran. And then you got Austin Jackson. All three of those guys, they're coming off some real big injuries. There's a lot of concerns about who's playing tackle. Now, Austin Jackson, I didn't know how serious the injury was. He had reconstructive surgery on that ankle foot. So he's coming in and he's struggled, and now he's coming off reconstructive surgery. Okay, but he's here. But then Wynn was training in the offseason, and he injured himself. And that's not a big deal, except his history is one of lots of injuries. And then you compound that with really the most critical thing. I thought Wynn was a spot guy at best. But I love my man Tehran. I do. And this guy is such a difference maker. With him on the roster and in the lineup, we're a different team, like big time. Now, the PUP I thought was because of surgery from the injuries from last year, but it was from a scope on his knee, and he elected not to have surgery on the foot because there was a 10-month window of rehab that would have impinged on the season. So he decided not to have surgery on the foot, but he had a scope. And so he had the torn pectoral last year. He had something going on with his hip, or I think it was his hip. And then he had the foot, and now there's a knee. And the foot's not repaired. And that was a serious thing that was aggravating. And he's just going to have to manage it this year. And I don't like the way that feels. I think 60% of Tehran is probably better than any of our tackles at this stage, but we need more than that. We're going against the AFC West, the AFC East, a bunch of very tough teams in there, in a very tough journey, a gauntlet, really, to make the postseason and do well in the postseason. And Tehran sets things up totally different. And I love you, Tehran. I do. I think you're a great dude and you're an unbelievable player. But the injury history at the age, he's 31 now, 31, and you're coming off a season with all those injuries. You got a scope, and then you're not getting the foot fixed, and then you have the history of injuries all pooling together. It's concerning. This offensive line needs consistency, it needs chemistry, it needs confidence, then to fill out this offense, because it all is, in the NFL, the offensive line makes the world go round. And so with Jackson, and he's reconstruction, and in Wynn, who's supposed to be a lot of people high on him, he got injured in off-season training, who's got injury history, and then Tehran not getting a foot fixed, having a scope on PUP with all the other injuries, and it's a little bit, to me, that's the spotlight. Whatever, I think the defense is going to be fine, no concerns with it. I don't have any concerns with Tua and the pass game other than Tua staying healthy. It's this offensive line to protect him, to not have to keep massive guys in the block. and having 2 guys go out in routes and 3 guys go in routes to be able to put more guys into routes to give Tua better options. It's all going to come down. And plus the running game, it's all going to come to this offensive line. And right now, there's some serious questions. I love to talk about competition, but this is the spotlight. This will be, again, the key to the season. I don't know how it's going to go. This could be totally, Teron's the kind of guy who could be totally healthy and fight through it all, and we could be okay, and everything could be okay. But you got to at least say, that's not the best way to start. Anyway, day 1 is in the books. The evaluations are going to get quicker and more serious day after day after day. And so get ready, guys. Big season. Be excited with a little bit of rabbit ears right there on that Teron tackle situation. But so far, so good. Let's see. Can't wait to see more information come out. Can't wait. I'm going to try to get to those practices. So anyway, Curtis saying, thanks for stopping by. I want to give you a shout out and a shout out to Acebread, my sponsor, because without the 2 of you, this show ain't going down. Acebread's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. All right, so guys, tomorrow, day 2 is tomorrow. We're going to get some public access. We'll get some more eyes on it, some more information. So it'll be coming quick. Please like, comment, and subscribe. All that stuff makes the algorithm go. It makes my sponsors happy and keeps me in business. I love to do this. And that stuff is fuel for this channel. So thank you for everything you guys do. Curtis saying, catch you next time. Be well. Go Fins. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with acebread.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.